Hey everyone! So today on Success in 7 Minutes or Less, we're going to talk about the habits of highly successful business owners. These are going to be things that I have learned from working with multiple business owners, having multiple mentors, reading books, figuring out kind of what works for people who are actually successful in their fields. And we're just going to go over a few of them. Some of them get broken down quite a bit more later on in Significant Business Academy. So as we go over them, some of them you'll want to add to them, and I'll mention them as we go along. So the very first one is one that probably people argue with me the most, but listen, successful business owners sleep. They sleep. Sleep is vital to your growth and success. It's very important for your creativity. Treat sleep like you would any other appointment. Try to get in bed at the same time every day. Treat it like it matters. You may not necessarily need a super detailed routine, but you certainly need to be able to get real rest and to not feel like resting takes away from your business. It's actually the opposite. And I actually deal with this a couple of times throughout these habits, but sleep is important. And I know that there's a big kind of rumor out there and almost a competition to see who can work the longest hours and who's the most serious about their business. You're not going to be successful long term, and it's not sustainable if you don't sleep. So the first thing I want to put out there is important for successful business owners is sleep. The next one is exercise. Listen, moving allows your creative juices to get flowing. It releases stress. It's important to your overall health. And if you're not healthy, your business is not going to be healthy either. We all go through times when, stress is a little bit overwhelming, and exercise allows that to kind of get out of our system. Now, I'm not telling you that you need to go run a marathon tomorrow, but go for a walk. Go take your dog around the block. Go walk on the treadmill. If you're in an area where you can walk outside, go walk outside and really allow that to be time that you allow your brain to kind of just move with whatever ideas, but realize that that's super important and it's not something that should take a back burner to your business. Habit 3 is to create consistency and routine. This is something that a lot of business owners tend to not want to do because they feel like it takes away their freedom. I'm one of those people that I tend to like to change things. So what I do is I decide what it is I want to do every day, and I might do them in a different order. But I tend to try to keep my getting up and going to bed time about the same, but I might, exercise before I write in my journal. Or, I might eat breakfast before I go to the gym, right? I might read a book instead of watching TV at night, right? But those things are things that I've created for me. The other thing this allows you to do is to set routines when it comes to your business. So the things that you are going to do consistently, batch them and create a routine around them. So for example, creating social media content is something that you can do in a big batch. You can do it for 2 weeks to 6 weeks. Most people, I try to get them to just start off at the 2 week mark and then move it to 30 days. And you just do it once a month. Once a month, you sit down and you create the content that you're going to need to create for social media. That helps you in a multitude of ways. It actually picks up momentum. The more that you do it, you'll get more ideas. It takes it off of your plate and adds real cohesion to your overall marketing plan that isn't going to be there if you wake up and are like, oh, I should probably post something. If you're going to take your marketing seriously, you need to treat it like a business, which means it needs to be something that gets done consistently. And then you want to schedule these things on your calendar. So if it's content creation or client calls or networking events or social media content, whatever it is, you want to schedule them as appointments and then batch them. You'll learn how long it takes you as time goes on, but this is super important to create those routines which allow you to create the consistency. Successful entrepreneurs do not have a million emails sitting in their inbox. A multitude of tests and studies have been done that show that having a ton of emails sitting in your inboxes are a lot of stress for you. And what I encourage you to do is go look and see how many emails you have, personal and business. If you have more than 50 that are sitting there waiting on your input, it's a stressor for you. So begin to work through those and come up with a system. I tend to, if it's something I don't need to respond to, I try to move it into folders. I have an assistant that helps me try to make sure that that is clear for me, that I know what I need to answer versus what might be. I'm on people's email list that I like, but I have actually a batch task where I'm going to go read those emails, but it's not going to be today. So I actually have a system for that. I know that creating system takes a little bit of work, but creating systems will relieve so much stress for you. So if you have an inbox that's piled up and you don't know what you've answered or what needs to be answered, what's important and what's not important, you want to start working on that. And this is going to be a masterclass. We're going to talk about how to get to inbox zero in Significantly Successful. And about habit 3, we actually go through in Hot Mess to Significant Success exactly how to set up systems and routines in your business, because I think that that's really key to having success in your business. So that is actually part of that. So if you're looking for those 2 trainings and you're a member of the Significant Business Academy, you can check those out. If you're not a member, then that is something that's going to be included. So if that's an area of your life you're struggling in, I walk you step by step, literally take you by the hand, and we go through them. The 5th habit is listen. You take time to breathe. I know I talked about sleep already. Sleep is something that seems to be like a competition about how many people can exist on the least amount of sleep. And I have to tell you, as somebody that used to be very sick all the time because I push and push and push, and I try to stay up late and get up early, and it's not something that is sustainable. It's not good for you. The other thing that's not good for you is not allowing yourself a complete and total break, a break from your business completely. This is something I've been harping on this year. If you guys have followed me at all, you know how important I think this is. I've always operated this way where I know I need this time off. But a lot of entrepreneurs try to keep their feet in both worlds. They try to spend time with family and answer emails. And they try to work on business and have their kid on their lap. Or they try to work on their laptop while they're watching a show with their significant other. And none of that stuff makes you a better person, and it doesn't make your family or friends feel significant in your life because they're never getting your undivided attention. So go ahead and feel good about giving yourself a free day. Do it once a week, start off once a week, and this is what free days mean. Midnight to midnight, no business. No checking email, no checking voicemail, no business books or podcasts, no business reading or social media, no talk of business. Instead of seeing time off as a reward for success, see it as a precondition for success. You want to remove yourself mentally and physically from your business so that you can be more creative and more productive when you come back to your business. And I promise you it works. Take time off regularly, plan vacations where somebody else is taking care of your business, or your clients know that you're not going to be available for that period of time, and your business will get better. I promise. So these are the top 5 tips, a little bit longer than 7 minutes today. If any of these are things you struggle with, I actually cover almost all of these in Significant Business Academy. But if you have any questions off the top of your head, feel free to post them below and we'll cover them then.